Well, what's going on, everyone? It's Adam here from First 30 Minutes on YouTube and GamesReviews.com with our review of Story of Seasons, Pioneers of Olive Town on Nintendo Switch. Before I get started now, I just want to give a quick shout out to all of my Patreon supporters: Carmelo, Aurora, Marge, Taylor, Amila, and Alexis. Thank you so much for donating and supporting the channel. If you would like to donate and support the channel, you can find a link in the description box down below. Without further ado, let's talk about my review of Story of Seasons, Pioneers of Olive Town. I think off the top, if we want to just touch on the graphics and the audio, it's pretty good. When I first loaded up the game, I was actually a little bit concerned. The opening cutscene was pretty lackluster, in my opinion, and I'll admit to being nervous. I was nervous about what this game was going to be about. I didn't know if I was going to enjoy it. But I think once I got to the farm and kind of saw the aesthetic that they were going for, I was much happier with it. So graphically, sorry, it's okay. The animals are incredibly well done. We're going to run over to those animals right now, just to show you what I'm talking about, but it looks like we might get a little cutscene. Oh, no. Okay, so here you go. Obviously you can see the dog there. Very well done. And then if we just run down here, and crisscross over the bridge, and kind of get over here to the animals, you're going to see how well done these animals really are. I think the development team put a lot of effort, especially into this aspect of the game. The animals are insanely cute, and I think they're kind of the shining trophy, I think, of the game. Like, everybody wants to have a wide variety of animals, and they've done just a fantastic job. Like, look at those. Just great. Both of them. All of them, sorry, are just perfect. So I think on a graphical standpoint, the character customization options are decently large. They're not huge. You're not going to blow anybody away. You're not going to spend 40 minutes creating your perfect character, of course, but I think they're enough for what this game is. You get lots of eye color options. You do get the option to change the two eyes, so you can have one eye red, one eye blue. Those options are there. Fair amount of hairstyles, but of course once you load into the game, you actually unlock more through the salon. So don't be worried if what you're initially seeing is not what you want. Eventually it's going to come around. Other graphical things, like the trees, are great. The makers are a little bland. I mean, they all have the same look to them with a slight difference on top and then color variations, which is fine. It's going to happen. Not everything's going to be a home run. And when you get into Olive Town, it's pretty as well. So there's no real cause for concern here. When it comes to the audio, it hasn't nagged on me yet. I am at least in this playthrough. In my personal game, I'm a lot farther, but in this playthrough, I'm on the 23rd of summer, so it's been 50, almost 60 days of playing, 61 days exactly, and the audio has been nice. I've never had to turn it off. Cinematic cutscenes have decent audio. The farm overlay is nice. The mines are great. It's pretty good. Like, I nothing like blows my mind. I'm not going to be like, oh, you have to get this game because the audio is so great. But at the same time, it's soothing. It's melodic. It's nice. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. And then the ambient noises are perfect. Animal sounds, thunderstorms. It's all pretty good. The thunderstorms could be like a little bit better, of course, but there's always something. There's always room for improvement. When it comes to the gameplay loop, I've actually found Story of Seasons to have a fairly decent, what's the thing I'm trying to think of? Not process, but a fairly decent, progression path. I've never felt like I've been stalled trying to do something. Things have been opening up at a fairly decent rate. I saw a lot of complaints online, especially a lot of complaints from those playing the Japanese version, that unlocking that final building took too much time. You do need 50 Mirage lumber. There's only 3 trees on your farm that provide you with Mirage lumber, and it takes a while to cut them down, then you have to wait for them to regrow. They take like 20 hours just to process one log. It's a lot of work, and if you can see here, I've been at it for maybe 20 days, and I'm at 21. So obviously it's a lot of work. That being said, I got the first, like I unlocked the coop really quickly. I was able to build this bridge fairly quickly. I was able to get the barn fairly quickly. Like it was a really good um, process in my opinion, and I'm okay with it, very much so. There's things I'm not okay with. We've talked about the maker system. I've come to terms with it, but I still don't like it. Um, it's very Stardew Valley to me, but a little bit harsher. Stardew Valley, like some of the upgrades, like the upgrade for the look at all that, nice. The upgrade for like houses and stuff, they just took wood and stone and sometimes the hardwood, right, which is a little bit more difficult to get in Stardew Valley. But this one literally, like you have to process everything to get anything. Like in Stardew Seasons in Stardew Valley, I don't have to process wood to get a house upgrade or to build a barn. You know what I mean? But I do have to do it here, and it's a bit of a drag just having to do that. Again, the progression path is fine, and the makers do factor into that in some way. So I can't complain too much, but I'm really looking forward to see what kind of updates they make to the maker system. Very much so. Okay, let's clear this away. So let's get to like the customization of your farm. Oh, no, let's get to the progression of love interests. I've been going after Lynn since I would say maybe day 10. I think is kind of when I started bringing her gifts every day. It took me a little while, of course, to figure out what she liked and what she didn't like. But once I sorted through that, heart progression has been pretty decent. I've got 5 hearts today, as of today, in the game. And when we go into town a little bit later, so I can show you that and talk about that, we'll probably get a cutscene, in fact. So I think that progression is also good. Like, it's not too quick that you're, finishing everything within the first season, but not so long that, it drags into year 2. Because at some point, you're just going to stop doing it. Like, you really are. You're gonna get burnt out trying to get all these love interests and everything else. But if you put the effort in, it's not that hard, and I think the progression is pretty good. So here we are with the makers. Like I said, they're not my favorite thing, but they do factor into the good progression. So I'm kind of torn on what to say here. In one essence, it sucks, but in another way, it works because the progression path is really well done, in my opinion, and they are part of that progression path. So I'm not sure if I should be as hard on them as I have been. It's not like makers are new; they're a Story of Seasons staple. Um, but yeah, they're kind of there, and they're going to be upgraded. And I think the upgrades are going to come, and they're going to be well received. When it comes to farm customization, I think there's quite a bit you can do. A few annoyances I'll point out right here. I don't like that the path does not connect up to the bridge. Like, I can't put anything in this square, and I can't put anything into that square, and it doesn't complete, if you know what I mean. Minor annoyance, but such is life. I'm also a little bit annoyed, and it's possible I just haven't figured it out, how to place a clean path on an angle. So this right here, this piece, and that piece, I wish I could like clean those edges up so it was a smooth road, you know what I mean? Again, minor problem. Everything else is great. You can move buildings around wherever you want. You can plant almost wherever you want, except for on the beach, of course. One of the things I would have liked, and I can walk over here to point this out to you. One of the things I would have liked is when you build a pasture like I have. Oh, we need to get into town quickly. When we build a pasture like I have, I wish that anything inside a fenced area wouldn't grow, or at least that you could toggle it not to grow, because I'm constantly knocking trees down and I wish I didn't have to. Just a minor annoyance. Let's head into town just so we can chat a bit further about what's going on here. This cutscene, this load screen, by the way, still annoys the heck out of me. I wish we could change that or make it better. And they did do a cutscene update recently, but it did not fix this problem. Not a cutscene update, a load screen update. I think the town is really well done. Everything's laid out very well. The upgrade system is great, although every time there's an upgrade available, Victor, who's the mayor, will ask you to donate some resources. And we're gonna do a quick cutscene here, guys, then we'll go back to the town. This is an example of one of the heart events, by the way. This will be the 5th heart event. Yeah, Lynn usually helps us study, but apparently she went to a forest today. Lynn loves the forest, FYI. I forget about studying. I want to go play in the forest too, says Mikey. So here you're getting a little flavor for the cutscenes. They're not terrible. They're not as good as other games. I think people have said the English version is much better than the Japanese version. They changed up the dialogue a little bit. But in these situations, if you look at my character faces right now, they're very plain. Like, I don't show a lot of emotion, if you know what I mean. Cindy does a little bit. Mikey will, you saw in the last cutscene, he has that big smile on his face. But I'm not showing any emotion, and it kind of bothers me a little bit that there's these cutscenes lack emotion so often. Like, we're 5 heart. This is 5 hearts in, and that's a pretty significant moment in the game. I believe I've been told 5 hearts, and I'm just not seeing that emotion, if you know what I mean. Like, there's a little cute little smile and stuff, but I don't know. It's lacking to me. It's lacking to me, in my opinion. But here, this is the perfect flavor for you guys to get an idea of what these cutscenes are going to be like when you play. I'm going to let this one play out, and then we'll continue to talk about town customization. As you watch this, by the way, this is very much a snapshot review. If you want my full thoughts written down, they will be on Games, GAMES, Reviews, REVIEWS.com. You'll be able to see that later in the week. This is more of a quick overview of some of the things I really like and some of the things I don't like so much. And it's obviously not going to touch on everything. Let's quickly see, Lynn, how are you? And I suppose there's always next year's fireworks display to look forward to. Yes, we didn't get to look forward to that with her, unfortunately. I did bring her a tea. She likes tea. She really likes tea. So there we go. So that was our heart event. As you can see here, I'll just go into the menu and we'll talk about the menu here for a second. Then we'll go back out into the town and we'll talk about town customization. So in this first menu, of course, you can see your records, progress, all that kind of stuff, your field level. Animal information, just how many you have of each. Minigame information, where you've placed. Ironically, it doesn't tell you where you've placed in the hammer strike. It says I have 110 points. I did win the hammer strike, but it doesn't matter. You can change your title, kind of like in Animal Crossing, where you can change your passport information. And then your album, which is just the pictures you've taken with your camera, which I think was a cool addition to the game. And then, of course, you have your bag. You start just with row 1, and then you can buy subsequent rows, so you can hold more stuff. These are your leveling system. So every time you gain a level, you'll get a title reward, which I'll show you in just a second. It'll be an olive haul that you can pick up. But these things just go up as you do them. This is the crafting menu. You'll be crafting a lot of makers, which as I've told you, I'm not a fan of. But you'll find other recipes as well. Tables, lamps, glass, things like that. Things you'll need to decorate your farm. I wouldn't say there's a ton of stuff, but there's enough to keep you busy. Definitely enough to keep you busy. Here's where you stand with all the villagers. So as you see, I'm 5+ hearts now with Lynn, 2 with Victor, and I haven't really done a lot with anybody else. The reason why is not because I don't want to experience all of the game, but because I've been doing a Let's Play. I didn't want to ruin all of these hearts events for everybody, so therefore I chose not to do them. Oops. Let's go back in. Of course, here's your calendar. You can see when everybody's birthdays are, as well as special events. The one thing I don't like is when you do click on a special event, it doesn't tell you what time it starts. So, although there was a dialogue option, I'm sure, or a dialogue situation where, in this case, the fireworks display, Nigel told me what time they were at, I forgot, and so I went into town at 2 o'clock, even though fireworks is a night thing. And it wasted the rest of my day. I don't know, usually the events run from till 6 p.m. If you don't show up before 6 p.m., you're in trouble. So I was worried about when I should show up for this fireworks display. Could I show up at 9 o'clock at night and still experience them? You know what I mean? So it does disappoint me there's not more information on this screen. And then your map, obviously. Again, another thing I would have liked about the map is if I could click. Now you can see where everybody is in town. That's really handy for trying to find people. However, I wish I could click through. I mean, you can click through, sorry, but I wish I could just go in the overlay and quick see. It's not a big deal. You just click facility information and here you go. You can see when everything's open, when everything's closed, never, for example, never. So that's just handy so that you know, eventually you will memorize this stuff, but it's just handy to know. Okay, so we were talking previously about town upgrades. When Victor gives you an option to upgrade the town, he'll ask for supplies, and it's usually 3 different options, and apparently, I've not proven this, but apparently what you give him changes how the town looks. What I don't like about that situation is that I can't give him, I don't know what it's going to look like based on what I give him. It's not like you say, if I give you 10 lumber, it's going to look like this. If I give you 10 stone, it's going to look like this. Or if I give you 10 bricks, it's going to look like this. You don't get that option. You just pick one and give it to him. That's a little disappointing for me if it's true that different materials change how things look. Another thing that's a little disappointing is this museum. I understand, and people have said you can't compare Story of Seasons to Animal Crossing. It's not fair, and I would agree. It really isn't fair, and it's not fair for me to do it, and I'm going to do it right now. After Animal Crossing, I think this museum is lackluster and boring. And while this may be what has been done previously in this series, and like sorry, not this series, but in the past with this game, with Harvest Moon, with Stardew Valley, I get it. Like, I get what they were trying to do, but the second that Animal Crossing came out, in my opinion, the bar changed. And so, there are things I'm okay with. These are all the animals I've donated so far. This is okay. Like, I'm not going to get upset about this. It is what it is. I just actually have some things to donate. It is what it is. Those are all the little statues from the animals that I found. Could it be better? Yeah, it could be bigger. It could be much more interesting, in my opinion. And it could have been like almost like an actual museum where you walk through. Maybe you get a couple facts. This is where you put all your artifacts. This feels very much Stardew, and Treasure. This feels very much Stardew Valley to me. I'm okay with this. This doesn't actually bother me that much. But I will show you what really does bother me. And I think this is where where Animal Crossing raised the bar, and where Story of Seasons probably should have raised their game. And that is down here with the quote-unquote aquarium. These are all the fish I've caught and donated. This is pretty lackluster. This is pretty boring. It's just unfortunate. It really is. It's hard to differentiate between what's what. I mean, obviously, that's a crab. And I believe that's a clam. But I mean, when you walk up, you can see what it is. But and that's obviously a squid. It's not really interesting. It's boring. It really is boring. And so I think that's a big miss. And while I do agree it's probably not fair to compare it to Animal Crossing, people are, right? You can't get past that. And Animal Crossing raised the bar for what a museum should look like. Up here is a fun little area. This is where you can snap some photos and stuff like that. You can't take these trees down, or maybe you can. Hold up, I shouldn't say that. No, you can't take these trees down. This is a little forest area. This is where you will pray. And this is where you pray to the harvest spirit. And you can spend these points. Now these points in the top corner, you'll get them for doing tasks around your farm. When you hoe the ground, when you cut down trees, when you smash rocks, when you basically do anything on your farm, you get the opportunity of getting these little sprite coins. And I'm going to use some, or sprite points, obviously it says points. I'm going to use some right now, and I'm going to up my hearts by 2, right there. So that's fun. It's interesting. It rewards you for working on your farm. You can't just come here and buy stamina. You need to actually put in the work on your farm, and you'll come away with some rewards. Some of the animations again here are nice. With the ranger's house here, you can see the smoke coming out the chimney. It's just cute. Very cute. Very well done. Alright, let's head back down. One of the other cool features I like are games that reward you. Now in Stardew Valley, when you donate stuff to the museum, every so often you get rewards. It's a similar thing here. As you level up your character, we're just doing a bulletin board request. That's pretty standard stuff for this type of game. As you level up your character in certain areas, you will unlock title rewards, and you can come here to pick those up. And sometimes they're a maker, like this, which will be beneficial, and sometimes they're just coins that you can sell, like these ones. But I enjoy the fact that you're rewarded for doing work, and actually helps you with your overall progression. And I think that feeds into how well the progression system works. Okay, let's head back to the farm and kind of just complete some things here. There's so much we could talk about. The crop variety is great, of course. The fish variety is great. The fishing minigame is fine. It's not mind-blowing. The ability to upgrade your axe and take down a wider area of trees, I thought that was going to be really stupid before I did it. Now that I have it, I think it's great. The inventory system is difficult. I think that's the best way to describe it. I have a lot of stuff, and you will have a lot of stuff, and it most definitely will feel overwhelming. There's no way you walk away from this game and say you're not feeling overwhelmed. Unfortunately, it's just a fact of life. You're going to have to deal with it. There's a lot of inventory to juggle. A lot. And as you can tell right now, I'm juggling that inventory. I'm juggling that inventory big time. I have lots of bins here. I have a bin right up here for gems. Like, I've got lots of bins, and you're probably never going to get past that point. You're never going to get past the gems. It is what it is. Learn to live with it. But it's been fine. I'm not going to complain about it. I've played games in the past with big inventory things. Oh, I could have donated a fish today. Oh well. I've dealt with this in the past, trying to deal with inventory. Like I said, it is what it is, and you kind of just learn to deal with it. I know that's not it's not what you want to hear from somebody who's playing a game, that you have to learn to deal with something. It's part of the game, so you'll either deal with it or you won't. I mean, it's going to ultimately be your decision, right? There's lots of forageables around your farm, of course. Lots of things to unlock. These puddles, for instance, they can be cleared out with a bucket, and then there'll be treasure in the bottom of the lake that you'll be able to collect and donate like I did today. But there's lots of land to work with. If you're really looking to build up a cool farm, you'll have plenty of space. Look at all this space up here. Tons of space to work with. And you'll have little things all over. There'll be there's a silo back here that you get to rebuild that I still have to move. You'll find a beehive you have to fix. You'll find a log that you can grow. Excuse me, a log that you can grow mushrooms on that you'll have to rebuild. Like, just plenty of stuff. These are these mirage trees I was telling you about. It's not fully grown yet. It'll take a couple more days. So this is really the last building on the farm that I need to do. And it's going to take a long time because I don't have any of those ingots yet. I haven't even gotten any of that ore yet. So I know it's going to take a long time. But I'm actually okay with it because I've unlocked so much so far. And I can't complain about progression. Like, I've never been bored. I think if you were to watch my entire Let's Play, there's an owl. There have been like 3 situations, 3 days where if you watch the stream, nothing interesting happened. No hard events, no events like just regular events, nothing cool I unlocked. Like, maybe 3 days or 3 videos, and I've got 45 plus videos on the channel. So at least within year 1, it's going to be an exhilarating first year. You have lots to do. And I'm still looking forward to things like getting married, having a baby, upgrading my house, upgrading that last building, trying out new crops, trying out a bunch of makers I haven't even touched yet, doing more cooking. Like, there's so much stuff I just haven't done that I'm really looking forward to. And this is, 45 episodes, 30 minutes an episode on average. It's a lot of game I've played, and I've thoroughly enjoyed all of it. Anyways, guys, if you want me to put a number on this review, I'm at a solid 8.5, and I might even be at a 9 out of 10. And if you're asking me, do I buy it? I would say yes, it's definitely worth the money. I think you'll really, if you like this style of game, you're really going to enjoy this. And I wouldn't even hesitate in saying, yeah, buy it. Comes with my highest recommendation. Is it as good as past Story of Seasons games? I would say no. However, this is what's available to you in 2021. This is what's available on Switch. It's this or Harvest Moon in this genre of 3D farming simulation games, and this one's going to win every single time. Every single time. Is it a better overall game than Stardew Valley? I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think I'd prefer to play Stardew Valley, but at the same time, Stardew Valley and Story of Seasons scratch two different itches. So that's my pick up and play for a couple minutes. This is one I can play for a couple hours. So highest recommendation, guys. If you really want it, please check it out. If you're still here at the end of this video, please give this a thumbs up and share it around with your friends. I'd love to see this surpass maybe 10,000 views like some of my other videos have. It might not, honestly, but if it does, that would be fantastic. Again, thank you to my Patreon members. The funds that you provide for me help me do more things on my channel. So thank you so much to Carmelo, Aurora, Marge, Taylor, Amela, and Alexis. If you want to become a Patreon member, the link is in the description box down below. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching the review. It's launch day. Enjoy this game, and hit me up with pictures of your farms, videos of your farms. I want to see what you're doing. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a good night.